You ready to sync up?
I got you.
Wrong again.
Let me mute Esther really quick.
Oh man.
She said, "Oh man."
Got it.
What's happening?
No, our clapping thing doesn't work anymore for some reason. The mics or Discord doesn't pick up the noise, so we have to do like a little noise.
Yeah, Discord.
Oh.
Discord does an Discord has like an automatic cap about how high
Like the
volume can
frequency
go.
crap.
Yeah,
I'm like, what happened?
just got to make sure these are working. All right, and our favorite one from last week.
Sometimes I'll start a sentence, and I don't even know where it's going. I just hope I find it along the way.
Oh my god, last week was so bad.
I mean, it wasn't even last week. It was like what, Sunday? Andrew and I just could not speak English to save our lives. It was awful. We used that like 4 times.
That was so bad.
All right, you guys ready to go?
Heck yeah.
Yep.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Up Until Now. I'm JD.
I'm Andrew.
And today we have a very special topic. Andrew and I are really excited to talk about this because, it's our future. And as you have heard in the last episode, we are very family-focused people. We do love our families. So this episode, we decided to really focus in on like future families and what we want. So on top of that, we also brought in another person. She's been on the podcast before. She is my fiance, Esther.
Hi.
So we are really excited to have Esther on with us because we're going to be talking about our future families. And since Andrew and I are best friends, we're probably going to be involved in each other's lives for the rest of our lives. So it only makes sense that Esther's here talking about our future family as well. So, hey.
Yay.
When we think about family, I guess the first question that always kind of pops up in everybody's mind is how many kids? How many kids do we want and how many kids do we expect to have? So, ladies first, Esther, how many kids would you like to have with me?
It was specified with
Oh
him
yeah, it's specified.
because apparently you're allowed to have it with other men. You're like, just with me though. How much do you want?
I want 1 adopted at least. I want 3 with fur, max. And I want 4 humans biologically.
Whoa! You want 4? You want to pop out 4 kids and then adopt one and then have 3 fur babies?
Well, 4 is my max. So I want even amount of kids. So my minimum is 2 and then my max is 4. So yes.
Oh.
So if that means 3 of them are biological, then 1 is possibly adopted. We also talked about this, but about the adoption, I don't want it to be like forced, but something that just kind of happens naturally.
You know what else is natural? Birth.
Yeah, no.
Wait, why adoption though?
It's just something that I've always wanted to do. More so because I've seen the social work side of it. So my bachelor's social work placement that I had was in an emotional and behavioral children's home. So I worked with children that were wards of the state. So all of them were in foster cares, group homes, and things like that. And my specific position as an intern back in the day was to create like educational programs and to kind of teach them with what's healthy sex, because a lot of them were getting pregnant, mental health, and things of that nature, and their future plans, and getting them excited of what does it mean to be out of the foster care after you're 18? What does that look like? I also met with young teen moms.
So that kind
Nice.
of like sparked your interest in adopting a child?
Yeah, just something that I want to be a part of, whether it's just fostering, like helping a child have a home or a safe home to be in until they find their perfect family or a family that's right for them, or someone that loves them unconditionally during their time here on Earth. So yes, something that I want to look into. Again, not forced, but
I'm actually kind of in the same boat as well. I didn't really have any strong opinions or feelings towards adoption. So when Esther brought it up, I was like, oh, okay, that could be a good idea. So I'm very open to that idea. But her maximum and my maximum are actually pretty similar, if not the same. I would want max 4 kids as well. So I don't mind that. Yeah, I mean 2 kids minimum, 4 kids max. I think that's a good number. So it's either 2 or 4. I don't really care if it's an even or odd number. So it just kind of take it as it is. But I will say that the number of dogs cannot outnumber the humans in the household.
End up becoming the crazy dog people.
Well, I mean, Esther's just said like she wants max 3. So, but then like if we have 4 kids, technically in my scenario, we can have 6 dogs.
I said I wanted each kid to have their own dog. So if we have 4 kids, that means we have 4 dogs. If we have 6 kids, then we'll have 6 dogs, and so forth.
That's a big ass household.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not entirely on board for the each kid gets their own dog. It's just I put that specific rule in there for Esther so she doesn't go too crazy and say each kid gets 2 dogs, you get a dog, you get a dog. You know, like not a big fan.
Turn into Oprah for dogs.
It's okay, Andrew. We thought about you, and since you'll be living next door, we'll just swap kids and dogs each week. And so we'll take turns in taking care of the number of people in our households together.
What the hell? Y'all making decisions for me without me? What the hell?
I mean, yeah,
Yeah, you right.
kind of, a little bit.
I mean, it's not too far off from my like plans either.
Yeah. How many kids did you want?
I definitely don't want an only child, so I want minimum of at least 2. And I'm fine with 3, but 4 is like the max for me too. Like I like 4 is pushing it. 3 is kind of pushing it too. Like 2 would be fine. 2 would be perfect. Like a boy and a girl, or a boy and a boy, but not 2 girls. Oh, oh.
Yeah, you'd be outnumbered, dude. You'd be outnumbered. What? 2 to what?
3 to 1.
Oh no! I meant Lance. Lance and Morrow's in there too.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So it'd just be you and Lance
4 to
versus
2.
everyone else.
But yeah, but like if we do have 3 kids, that's kind of like my dream. I know I said it's like pushing it, but like that would be like ideal because I want a girl, boy, girl, or
Interesting.
boy, girl. I just want the girl to be youngest.
Oh, so she can be like your little princess?
Yeah, and like they'll have like their protector, or at least one older system with like the most wisdom.
That was actually going to be my next question. I was going to ask them like which gender, if you prefer to have first.
Girl, girl, or boy, girl. But Ashley really wants to get a pet for each child too.
Just works. It teaches them responsibility. It gives them something to do so they're not in trouble all the time. Then also like you don't have to go watch them. So like the reason why I want a Great Dane or like a giant dog.
Here we go again.
Is so that we don't have to go out and watch the kids when I could be cooking and making dinner. So like, hey mom, can I go play at like Uncle Andrew's or whoever's house? Yeah, take the dog with you. So if something happens, the dog's got it. I don't have to be there.
What if that household can't allow dogs?
Well, they're gonna be sitting outside and just protect. They're just house guarding the house.
They're gonna guard the entire house.
Yes. And then when they're ready to leave, they'll be like, "Okay, let's go."
Now you're just gonna leave the dog outside by itself. Oh man, that's harsh.
Yeah, I don't know where Esther gets this idea from. Like, I don't understand. Like, she thinks every single dog is gonna be like a movie dog where it just kind of sits there. That's not really the case.
If you left Morrow outside unleashed to quote protect the house, she would be running around the goddamn city. Oh, if anyone tried to break into my house, Morrow would fucking greet that burglar with the love and passion she shows me.
If not more.
I know. Like, oh, hi friend. You're here to rob the house. Hi friend. Let me show you where the owners are so you can kill them. Like that's what Morrow would do.
For your genders, Andrew, it would be ideally girl, boy, girl.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd want one boy?
Yeah.
Interesting. Guess what
Only
Esther
because there's
wants?
so many fucking boys in my family, so I'm tired of
Oh,
boys.
okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's Joe, Kevin, you, Paul, Brandon.
Brandon.
It's a lot of boys.
Yeah.
Esther, what about you? What kind of genders did you want for our children?
All boys. I want all boys. All boys. If they're gonna be anything like me, I'm gonna give them up for adoption by the age of 2 if they're girls. I'm not having it. I'm not.
Shit's fucked up.
She's brutal. She is brutal. I know. It's ridiculous.
Wait, you don't want girls?
No, I don't.
Ugh.
No
That
girls.
sucks.
No girls. I can deal with broken bones, constant hospital visits. Mama's got you. But the whole, you son of a bitch, mom, you fucking bitch, like you ruined my life. Like I hate this. And no,
The beep, beep, beep,
we're
beep,
not,
beep.
we're not doing that.
What the hell makes you think your kids are gonna be like that? What the hell did you do to make them like that?
She thinks it's all
Yeah.
genetics. I don't know, man.
I was a god awful child. Like,
Were you hit? Like, were you beat?
no.
Well, that's the problem. I was beat. I never said, you son of a bitch, la, 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 la. Oh my God. Well, actually, I did say all that because my parents didn't understand it. But if I said that in Korean, la, 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 la. My dad beat the shit up. Okay, well, that's a good question then. What do you guys think about disciplining?
Oh, we actually never got into this. But before we get into that, for me, I want a girl. I want one girl. Just one girl. And then all boys. I don't mind that.
It's not coming out of my vagina.
Yeah, why do you gotta say it like that? Golly. Jeez.
It's not happening.
Anyways, disciplining. Esther, like what let's move on. All right, Esther.
Jeez.
For disciplining, that's a good question, Andrew. I like the give me the paint stick and just kind of whack them on the butt.
Just whack, not like fucking home run derby.
Like
Pro-
throw,
one of
throw a
those?
shoe.
I probably wouldn't go that far. I'd go enough where like they would cry a little bit, but not enough to like send bruises.
If they don't fucking cry, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, exactly. So just enough to make them cry and kind of like be fearful of you.
Put the fear of fucking God in them. No, like I'm not talking about like leaving bruises, but you know what we're talking about, like the Korean dad, beating their kids, like ah.
If you smack our kids, I will smack you 10 times harder and you'll be sleeping outside.
You smack my best friend 10 times harder. I won't lay a finger on you, but I'll beat the shit out of your kids. It's like, oh, you got my best friend in trouble. Oh, you did. Oh, you got another thing coming.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't believe in disciplining?
I believe in discipline, but not in like physical discipline. Like I'm not laying a
What?
hand on them. Like that is one thing that I will not do and I'm not going to condone. Children are sponges. Like they learn from like others and what gets happened to them. Like I'm not putting a hand on my kid. I actually never really thought about it. All I know is that I'm not smacking my kid. Like it's not gonna happen.
Kids also learn from being in pain. So if they associate with, oh, I did this bad thing and I'm in pain now, I won't do it anymore.
There's something called positive reinforcement.
If your kid throws a baseball through your fucking window and you told him to stop multiple times, what are you gonna do? Fucking reinforce, do the little Oreo tactic, like, you look great today, but I'm fucking pissed that you broke my window. But what do you want for dinner?
You'd hit our kids?
Yeah, with a paint stick. A paint stick is like a tiny, like a thin, like little piece of
that
plywood.
hurts more because it's so thin.
Nah, I'm telling my kids to go outside, pick a branch so I can beat you with that branch.
That's essentially what I was gonna do. Just it's pre-made.
You get to go pick your own weapon of choice.
So if we get a girl who's gonna end up like me, you're gonna beat her.
Okay, you make it sound like I'm gonna like
Okay, we're not gonna beat them like senseless. We're just gonna discipline them.
like when you say beat, it makes it sound like I'm gonna leave bruises and I'm like punching them like with my entire strength. No, that's not it at all.
But you're still physically touching them.
I'm not the branches.
Oh my god.
Wrong again.
I mean, because that's the way that I was raised. There are a lot of things in my life where if I didn't get like, hey, I'm like, I was a dumbass as a kid, for sure, 100%. Andrew knows because we were dumbasses together in high school. If I didn't get hit like by my mom with like that paint stick, I wouldn't. There some lessons just like kept that my mom tried to keep putting into my head, just never would have gotten in there. You know?
I know what you mean. Like, I really don't know why Esther keeps making it sound like we're gonna beat our kids senseless. Like, well, I mean, I guess it doesn't help what I'm saying and stuff, but like I'm gonna give them a good spanking if they're acting up and shit. Like, like Paul does it, and I respect Paul for it because his kids are very well mannered, especially in public, because they know that if they fuck up in public, oh, somebody gonna get hurt. As soon as they get fucking home, they know they're gonna get a spanking if they're like acting up, and my brother just gives them that look, or he does the little, the Korean dad thing, like, Phenom. And then every once in a while, like at home, Paul will yell in Korean, like, "Yeah," and then they just stop immediately.
So when the Korean comes out.
Yeah, like, but they're gonna get a spanking for sure. My kids definitely. But like what JD was saying, like if I wasn't spanked or like hit for doing some stuff growing up, I would have turned out so much worse because I would never would have realized like oh, this is bad, or like I shouldn't do this.
It makes it feel like there wasn't, if I didn't get hit, then it made it feel like, oh, I got away with it and
Right,
I can
right.
do it again.
Right. Getting spanked is like, oh, you can't get away with it because there's obviously that's the outcome for it.
Yeah, there's punishment for the actions that you took.
Yeah, there'll be consequences, but I'm not hitting my kid.
Well, you're gonna take their phone away?
Yeah, that
I
doesn't
don't
do
know.
anything.
My kid's not even gonna get a fucking phone until 7th grade until I got mine.
Yeah. Well, we talked about technology, but anyway, yeah, I've gotten bitch slapped by every single person in my family.
Okay, bitch slapped and spanking are completely different.
What the hell's bitch slap?
Like literally just slapped
Across the
slapped
face.
across the face.
I've got hit in the face.
Yeah.
Like that's how bad of a kid I was.
I'm not going to be the one that's like slapping kids in the face or punching them in the face. Like you're making it sound like Andrew and I are literally going to like fight club them. You know, that's not it at all. It's just a spanking on the ass. You know, just be like, bam.
Yeah.
No, that's a whip, dude. That's a whip.
Hey. Hey, sometimes those sticks make that noise.
Oh, they do, yeah.
So maybe it's because of Andrew's sound effects that I keep saying that, because yes.
No, we're not gonna
Okay.
beat our kids senseless. It's just like a smack on the butt.
Fucking whip them. Do your homework.
Well, I guess, okay, Andrew, like what, I guess if we're going to go along with this topic, what is like the worst thing that you've been hit with? The thing that hurt the most that like is like prevalent in your mind?
Belt, a chair, a stick, like a lamp.
Oh,
Whatever my dad could grab.
I think
Actually, a hanger was the worst. Like it was like one of those like plastic ones, like the firm plastic ones, and my dad broke one hitting us.
the worst thing that I got hit with was, do you know like for blinds, like that, the plastic,
Oh my, the little
plastic
twisty
thing?
things.
Oh god, yeah, to open and close the blinds.
Oh,
That was the worst. It left welts for like a week.
oh my god.
My mom
Oh
never
my
used it again,
God.
but she's like, she even apologized. She's like, that was too, that thing has whip, bro. It goes, yeah, that one was bad. That's the one thing that I remember. Every time I see one, I think of that, and I'm like, okay, then my lesson is learned that like, okay, I'm never gonna yell at my sister again because of that. Like, just every time I look at this fucking thing, like,
Psych. You yell at your
PTSD, man.
sister constantly afterwards.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
You know what was actually the worst punishment?
Hmm.
Did your parents ever make you guys 손들어?
Which one's that one? Is that where you have to hold
Where
something up?
you just lift your arms up?
Yep. Yep.
That literally does nothing to you except make you tired and you just want to die.
It makes you tired and it makes you think about like the thing that you did wrong because they keep telling you, think about what you did wrong. And you're just holding your hands up and you're like, I'm sorry.
I'm tired. And then when your fucking arm starts falling out, put it back. I'm like, and you're crying and you're like, you're doing the. I actually find it really funny when kids cry. Like I love their breathing pattern because it goes like, like they honestly forget how to breathe when they're crying. Like every time Tony or Noah like cries after Paul like yells at them or spanks them, like I'm like over there dying from laughter.
So mean.
But Paul's giving me permission to like. He's like, hey, if my kids ever act up around you, spank them. They'll think they could get away with anything around their samchun if they if they don't get punished, and that's what I do. But then I go kind of easy on them though, because I want to like return their baby the way they gave it. I'm not gonna damage the product and give it back to them.
It's like that Kevin Hart thing's like, your kid had 2 eyes when he came here, right?
Shit, it happened here then.
All right, that's good to know. Interesting to know. That'll be a conversation Esther and I have in the future.
Yes. Yeah. I just don't want to put a hand on my kid. I just don't. I don't think it's right.
I'm gonna keep dodgeballs in the house and whip it at our kids if they act up.
I guess what I've done, like when I've babysat my cousins, and one of them was really bad. I woke him up because he fell asleep early, but he wets the bed a lot. And I was like, shoot, he didn't pee. So I knew that when I woke him up to go potty, like he would throw a fit, which he did. And he cried. I just didn't give in to what he wanted. He's like, I want to go back to bed. I'm like, no. So he threw a tantrum for like an hour. I'm like, you're going to wake up your sister. The sister already knows because she's older. But like, he just cries. I'm like, I don't know why you think this is going to work. And eventually he just listened and he did it and he went back to bed.
But that took 2 hours.
If you just hit him, he would have gone instantly.
No, then he would have cried even more.
But he would have gone to the bathroom while crying.
No, you don't know that. I think it also depends on the child and their personality and like how like disciplining children is different for each child, like how it looks, what works and what doesn't work. Like think about our students. Yeah, sometimes if you give them this discipline and like take away their privileges, sometimes it works for one kid and the other kid doesn't care. One of the kid probably listens better if you just make him run laps all day. Because he knows he doesn't have to run laps anymore.
My kids are gonna get beat. JD, if my kids ever go to your house and they act up, you could spank them. Like
Or just
I'm
make
straight
him
up
sleep outside.
I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna be like, hey, you're going to Uncle JD's house, and he's allowed to hit you, so you better not fucking act up, because Auntie Esther's gonna bitch slap the shit out you. She's the scariest of all of us.
She's the one that like is like nice, but then like when she gets mad, she's super mad.
I know. The one that you like won't expect them to be mad, like, ugh!
Exactly.
Surprised I haven't thrown anything at you.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised by that too.
Mm-hmm.
Esther's a thrower.
Objects.
And a hair puller. I get really physical. But that hasn't happened in years.
Because I'm a really nice person.
No, but it's happened.
What the hell are you throwing my best friend?
She hasn't thrown anything at me yet.
You pulled his hair before?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
No. We've only like yelled at each other.
We've never gotten physical. And I won't. I don't believe in it. I don't think it's right.
She does the
or
love
fair.
taps though, but she hits me pretty hard.
But those are like flirtatious, like ah ha 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 ha.
You clapped so loud the mic didn't pick up.
Don't worry, it picked up over here. Don't worry about it.
Jesus.
I mean, moving on because I don't want to talk about this anymore because it brings up bad memories of me. what are some of the things that you want like your kid to do? Like, is there like certain like traditions or anything that you would want, or is there anything like sports that you would want them to play or try and hopefully
Uh,
like, if not?
I mean, I would love it if my kids, or at least one of them, does swimming because I personally love to swim. So like, if I have one of my kids that I could like go out there and swim like happily with, not like forcing them to go swimming, like I'd love that. Like just one,
One out of the three.
yeah,
You have a 33% chance, man.
yeah. Like I want them to do sports, but then that's all up to them. Like I'm never gonna force them to do a sport. Like those parents that like force their kids to do cheerleading or something like that. Yeah, I'll never force them. I'll always like ask them like, "Oh, hey, do you anyone of you guys want to like join a swim team or something like, or do you guys want to join the football?" Like I push it if they want to, and I'll support their stuff, but I don't ever want to be that parent that makes their kids do sports. It'd be nice, but
I want to say that I won't be the parent that makes kids do sports, but I don't know. I feel like another way that I learned discipline and another way that I learned to like be a part of a team and respect adults was through sports. Because as a parent, you can't, I mean, you can, like what Esther said before, like if they get in trouble, you can't just make them run laps. I guess you could to an extent. I mean, the coaches can do that like easily. They're like, just run laps, keep running laps. And I feel like it's not the coach's job to teach them, but I think the sport itself and like being dedicated to a sport and to a team like promotes that kind of like discipline. And I would love it if they got into sports.
yeah.
Personally, I would love like team sports. Even if like the kid wants to play League of Legends like as an esport, like I would be completely okay with it because it's a team effort, it's a team game. And just as long as like they have to learn and they have to like work together as a team, I think that's what I figured that I'm really good at even now is just like working in a team. And I have like lacrosse and I have football and I had like soccer and just like backyard pickup games that have that I thank for that, because without that I don't think I would be able to work with other people. So I would try to like really kind of push them to a sport, even if it's video games. I'll be like, you know what? Just as long as it's a team game and you're like playing at least duos, you know?
I mean, I play League as a team game, but I still think I play solo.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the same thing with like other like even other teams, like other team sports. It's harder to some of them are like more like individually focused. Especially if like you're playing basketball and you have like one superstar that like makes like 40 points a game, it's kind of like very one-sided. So
LeBron James. But I don't want my kids to be cocky.
yeah, you're gonna like knock them down a couple pegs.
Yeah, like if I start seeing my kids get cocky, I'll literally trip them in public and be embarrass them, be like, "Hey, you fucking little asshole, step off that stool, bitch." I'll make sure they're not cocky because I don't want them to be like those classic douchebags. I want them to be humble and work for everything.
And continue to work hard for the things that they
Right.
have. Yeah. Makes sense. So like for Andrew, for you, it's football and swimming, and probably water polo gets thrown in there as well. Those are the kind of sports that you would like at least one of your kids to be good at or like.
Actually, I would say okay. So the one I didn't mention is volleyball because I had a passion for volleyball my entire life, and I still do. It's just I got persuaded by the swim team to join the water polo team my freshman year of high school, and I mean I'd love to play volleyball, and I always do, and I always will.
Yeah, me too actually. I love volleyball. Volleyball is yeah, it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it.
Volleyball is a huge team sport, so
Yeah,
like
very much so. Esther, what about you? What kind of sports would you want your future kids to play?
Anything that teaches them discipline, gives them a little pain, comes back with unknown bruises.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, that's kind of standard across all sports. But like, is there any
I mean-
sport specifically that you would be like, oh, that'd be awesome if they can play that or do something like that?
I mean, the only ones that I come at the top of my head are like obvious ones that I've done growing up, which are like gymnastics, and that's it. So like I think when the kid is like taught, so when they're 2, they are allowed to enroll in like parent and taught classes in the gymnastics in like the children's section. And I think that's really beneficial because one, it just gives, if I go or you go or we both go, it gives us undivided attention to our kid. It gives us a chance to have our kid be in an environment where there's other parents and other children, like other people their age that they're exposed to. And it teaches them like fine motor skills, like how to walk, how to crawl, like, ooh, this is a carpet, like this is a mat, bars, and like different types. So I think that definitely is something that I want to do. If they want to continue doing it and it leads into competitive stuff, cool, great. Or if it leads into like rhythmic gymnastics, which is completely different, or power tumbling or trampolining, like there's so many different things. If they want to do cheerleading, that's fine. I will not encourage POMs and I will not encourage cheer high school. Like if you're in competitive cheer where it's like co-ed and you're throwing like doubles and fulls, great, all for you. If it's like those like chanty stuff, no. One, you're not practicing that at the house, and two, I'm not helping you. I mean, teamwork sports, cool, great. Any kind of martial arts, I'm always down for, whether that's jujitsu, taekwondo, or boxing, like really anything. Swimming would be nice. Winter sports, really don't care. Just nothing like easy. Even ballet is like really intense. So like if they're passionate about like being a dancer, if they want to try it out, cool. The only thing at the end of the day, my kid better have some sort of passion. Anything like something that they're passionate about, no matter what kind of sport, I would like for them to be involved in.
For me, I think I just kind of want them to be very much like myself, like a very well-rounded athlete. If they were a well-rounded athlete, but also like they focused on like snowboarding, that would be freaking awesome. That'd be like the coolest thing. If like my kid gets into the X Games or something like that would be something insane. Like that's like a personal dream of mine, like of where like I would want my kid to do that and be passionate about snowboarding and like winter sports in general. That's something that I would, off the top of my head, would love. But if they want to do other things, then I would want to push like you, Andrew, like volleyball and football, lacrosse if they want to. But I think if they really, I want one kid to have like a love of snowboarding, so like I could take him out on the mountain and just be like not have to worry about it and just have him follow me or whatever. I think that's like the biggest thing for me. I think it's the same for Andrew too. He would like volleyball and snowboarding
Yeah, and swimming.
and swimming.
Oh, I got a question.
Yep, go for it.
How are you guys gonna treat your kids on academically? Like me and JD talked about it on our last podcast. How my parents weren't around, so they didn't really push me to do anything. So like I was the average student, and I never was pushed, and I loved it. But what about you guys?
I'm all up for academics. I'm not going to force the kid. It's so interesting because I took my whole background in like higher ed is and like children and developmental. Like I took all these classes and that's why my answers are the way that they are kind of. But my personal experience, I was forced. So typical, like my dad wouldn't let me watch TV during X amount of times. Also, I didn't have time for TV because I was always at practice for gymnastics. Like it was very much like school, eat, go, and come back and then I'll do homework. Like I didn't even have time to do homework after school. But then on the weekends, it would always be studying. My dad would buy those workbooks. He introduced me to a computer at a very young age. So he got all those like learning programs on the computer that he would have me do. He had me typing by third grade. Like I was typing. So then when I got into fourth grade, I was already ahead of everyone. Other stuff, because I was forced, like I was forced to practice math. I was forced to read. I was forced to learn how to read maps like back in the day. I hated it and I purposely did bad in school. Like I purposely didn't pay attention. I didn't even show any interest because I didn't want to try. I even didn't know if I would be interested because I knew for a fact that I was forced to do something. And even by that, I didn't like it. That actually like went all the way into high school. And it even went into the whole stigma of like, oh, Asians are smart. No, I'm going to be dumb just because of that. And I actually did awful academically. Anyway, my case scenario. But for my kids, I'm not forcing them. I want to teach them that this is a cool thing to do. And wow, like a lot of praise and things like that.
Ah, learning is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it can be fun, like finding a book that they really enjoy, like if they like mystery or if they like sports, like reading about sports, like it can be anything. Kind of relating it to something that they enjoy doing or liking to do. So, but academics all the way. School, like college, they're gonna go to college. If they don't, then they better have a good PowerPoint presentation of what they want to do besides that. Or at least get their associates or something. But that's something that we've also, JD and I have talked about a little bit before. I can't remember.
If they don't have anything, if they don't have any passions, if they don't have anything that like they're good at or they really want to passionate about, I'm forcing school. I feel like academics and academia in general is a good fallback. It's a good thing to have and make sure that you have the options. It's not about if they want to or not. It's about having the ability to leave those doors open. For example, if one of my kids in the future is like an incredible snowboarder or is an incredible athlete and they are like bound to go into the professional field and like be paid for the things that they love to do, then I'm not going to force school as much. I'm still going to be like, hey, listen, you have to graduate high school. Like you still have to get your grades up and you have to keep them like at, a 3.4 or 3.3. I think it's very doable.
Damn.
That's pretty high.
Really? It's an A, B student. Is that high?
I'm more like the 2.7, 2.8, maybe a 2.5.
Oh, interesting.
Like the mid C grades, like the average students.
Yeah, mine just my grade expectations are C's or higher. Like C's great. Like C's mean C's mean you understand, but you're just having trouble and you're not mastered at it.
Wow, I'm just getting roasted over here. Like I feel like I feel like you guys are like subconsciously calling me a nerd because all throughout high school and all throughout college I had at least a 3.5.
Your girl had a 1.9.
Jesus. Right,
Your boy
well.
had like a 1.9 to like a 2.5. 2.5 on a good year.
Anyways, I still want them to have the ability and I still want them to have the option of going into a school that they want to go into because like they want to pursue their academia. I don't want it where I'm so nonchalant about it and then when they get to the time of college applications and they can't go to the school that they want to go to, I feel like as a parent I would have failed them. And
I understand that.
it's not my fault specifically. You know what? No, fuck it. It is my fault that they didn't succeed. It is my fault that I didn't push hard enough and I didn't help them or like help them achieve their goals of going to a certain cause that they want to go to. And I feel that if their passion is in photography and in high school they're like making thousands of dollars shooting weddings at a high school level, then hell yeah, like just like forget college, like just keep working what you're doing because you're clearly doing something right. So if they have something they're passionate about and that is like they're locked in to like make a living off of it or like pursue their passions and really enjoy their life, then yes, I'll more than happy to support them, but not force school as much and just have them focus on their craft. And I think that's the kind of balancing act that as a parent that I want to do. Because my parents, they didn't like force me to do workbooks or anything like that. Like they wanted me to do workbooks. I guess, I mean, I'm the kid that didn't study at home. I just did my homework and I just got decent grades. So I'm hoping a lot of my kids get a lot of my brain where they're just like, okay, and they can do school fine. But I don't know, like I don't want to force school if they have something else that they're passionate about.
As long as my kid's not a fucking dumbass, then I'm fine. Like straight up, like what's 10 plus 10, and they're like taking their sweet ass time, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like if they're at like no, like as long as they're like at my level of when I was that age, I'll be fine with it. Because like I was, just passing. I was the average student. If they're below that, then there's something wrong. I have no problem with them being average students. If they want to succeed and go above and beyond, great. Like I'll help them as much as I can. But if they just want to like, cruise on by, I'm not gonna like punish them for like not doing great on a test or something.
Yeah, I think it just depends on like the kid itself. Like again, what I said, like if they're good at sports and they're getting C's, that's fine. That's not a big deal. But if they're like don't have a sport, they're just doing nothing and they're getting like D's, no, I'm kicking that kid's ass into gear because that's not acceptable.
See, but like our household is gonna have like 2 gamers as parents. So like if our kids are like gaming all day, like I'm gonna be seeing like, are you even good? Like if you can't beat me in a one-on-one, we're doing something wrong here, and you better start practicing or you better start doing your homework.
I mean, at the end of the day, for me, they're going to school. Like, school's gonna be a priority. It's part of a priority, and they're gonna learn that early on. Also, because you have to think about the generations. Like, by then, who knows? Like, what is it like to get a job? What is it like to live a happy quote quote life? Again, it depends on each individual. But like for me, I can't foresee the future to just say like you have to be how I was smart at your age. No, they better be 10 times smarter than how I was at my age because it's not 2000s anymore. Like kids right now, even right now, the education system, they're learning long division like earlier than we did, or like
Yeah,
simple
but
things.
have you seen the
So,
kids these days? They're fucking dumbasses. Like kids are fucking stupid. They're eating fucking laundry pods.
but
Like what the
academic,
what the fuck?
but
I'm sorry.
academically,
The Tide Pods thing. That's hilarious.
but academically, like it's so different now. Like I have friends that are teachers, and they're like, no, it's not the same curriculum that we're used to. It also depends on where we live too, on the school districts.
But like honestly, but like if you are going by like, oh, like we don't know how it's gonna be in the future, what JD was saying kind of makes sense though. Like nowadays, people make money off of being good at what they do, you know?
And they can find their niche markets and be
Right.
able to like really pursue that.
Like people are good at selling pictures of their feet. They make bank.
I mean, who was it? I think Andrew and I we were talking about this earlier. We were talking about how in the past when we were asked what we wanted to be when we grew up, it was always like the same 4 or 5 answers. President of the United States, which I don't think anyone wants that job anymore right now. Fuck Trump. An astronaut, fireman,
Firefighter.
policeman, doctor. Like those are like the 5 big ones that like we always were told to give. Right now, I heard that they like recently they did another survey of kids to like, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? A lot of them said, I want to be a YouTuber. And that doesn't take schooling. It really doesn't. It takes a creative mindset and dedication and hard work. And if my child in the future wants to be a YouTuber, but they're willing to put in the effort and the drive, and they come to me, we're like, hey, Dad, I know you're a photographer, but can you help me make a video for my YouTube channel? And I really want to do good with it. I'm like, oh, yeah, definitely. For sure. I can definitely help. Like being able to support them in their passions. And there's like these kids on YouTube. I don't know what their name is, but they review kids' toys. They get millions of views and they get sponsored and they're making a shit ton of money. Those kids are making more than their parents. And only the parents are making like the parents are making this money because it's their kids that are making the money and they're not 18 yet. I mean, it's crazy. Like these kids are like 7 to like 12 years old. They're just rating toys online on YouTube and they're making millions of dollars. So if my kid wants to do something like that and they're really passionate about it, you know what? Go for it. If they want to put all their 100%, let's do it. Let's go for it. Not to say like we're going to totally neglect school, but like it'll be like you have to finish your homework before you go on YouTube and do your YouTube thing. Like it's that kind of thing where like you use school to be like that fallback.
I'm not saying that I won't like help them pursue their passions. At the end of the day, there's still everything that they learn at school through discipline, planning, math, with numbers. Like they're all going to be able to use that in their passions. It still correlates at some point. And so at the end of the day, my kid's going to school.
What the hell you use finite? I have never used finite in my life.
Yeah, I've never needed. I mean, there are certain things, but I think like I guess what Esther's trying to say, like the basics, like critical thinking and like problem solving is like a
I
very
know.
basic thing. Yeah.
There was like a trend going around on TikTok where they like these students were going up to their teacher and then they're like, quick, name 3 really important things. And then the teacher would name the 3 important things and they'd be like, oh, funny how calculus wasn't in part of the 3 important things in life.
And that's something that we talk about on this channel a lot. We were like, there's a lot of things that we didn't learn in school, and there's a lot of things that we didn't have
to
any
learn.
idea about until we graduated, until our adult life started. And I think that's one again another big reason why we started this podcast. So moving forward, is there any kind of like family traditions that you guys wanted to like implement within your new family or your future family?
I don't really have family traditions.
Like, is there anything that you would want to make?
Probably vacation, at least, once or twice a year. Because my family's never gone on vacation once a year or something like that. We'd go like once every 7 years, and if we're lucky, like our family gets to tag along to with Joe and Kev's family. But I want to give our kids a fun life, like something that I didn't have. I'm not saying like I neglect my parents or anything for that, but like I want to be able to you know make sure their lives are full of fun. Yeah.
No, I got you. I got you. I'm kind of the same way. Like, I would love to have like at least a yearly vacation, and even if that means just driving up to the Wisconsin Dells one weekend, like something to make, make memories and stuff like that. And I think Esther and I talked about this as well. As we wanted to have nightly like family dinners.
Oh, I want that too.
Yeah, so something like that. Because I know for me personally, I was lucky enough where my family had family dinners. Like we had it every night almost. Where I think it stopped a little bit after I graduated high school, but the family dinners like up until high school like always happened. Like every night, like we were most of us, like over half of us, was sitting at the dinner table eating dinner together. And I told Esther this before, but I think all of my favorite memories of my family and all the most memorable things and conversations that we've had as a family always came around a dinner table. I mean, there's one time my whole family, we went to Korea a few years ago and we were sitting at dinner. We were the only people in the entire place speaking English, of course, but we were like the loudest table. We were just sitting there having a conversation and we were talking about all these topics and all these different, things that like I've never heard like my friends say like, "Oh, my family talked about this at the dinner table last night." Like I've never heard that, but we were talking about with my father who is a pastor like we've said before. It was like, what would you do if like one of your kids came out as gay? And like having that conversation and having a very constructive conversation was like one of like the highlights of that Korea trip. And it was around a dinner table, and I think that's the tradition that I would love to have and continue going with my own family.
Yeah, I didn't have that. For us, like dinner time was literally scattered for every single one of my family members. My mom always ate early because she's just hungry. Paul was never home. My dad always came home late from work, and I always got hungry 1 hour after my mom asked me to eat because I was always playing games.
That's how I was too. My family, I don't, unless we're on vacation, which rarely happened as well, we didn't sit down and eat together because I also had practice until 9 o'clock on weekdays. So,
Maybe Sunday we would have dinner together, just like right after church or something.
Yeah. Esther and I had talked about all these other different things too, where we actually had monthly movie nights where we just come in together as a family, get a new movie, and just watch it together. Like parent and kids dates,
mm-hmm.
where
That's cute. That's
yeah,
cute.
so like I would take my daughter.
Nope.
I would take my daughter for a date 1 month, and then the next month I'll take one of my sons or one of my kids and just like kind of rotate. And we would do Esther and I would both do that where we would just take one kid and go on a date.
All the other kids are gonna be so jealous.
But then they
Why?
get their turn eventually.
Yeah, and they get
I
the
know,
other
but
parent.
like, what if you guys have like 3 kids and Esther takes one, JD takes one? There's just one like,
Oh no.
They get the dogs.
stuck at Uncle Andrew's house.
No. If anything, it would be like I would take up like Saturday night. I would take one of the kids. Esther would take Sunday, and then something like that.
Yeah, so I've got, what did we say? What do I got? So my list, so I'm assuming what you're kind of going off of, JD, is I've got active seasonal traditions and sports, family daily dinners, which we mentioned, mom kiddo Saturday breakfast with moi. We said Sunday brunch church. So after church, we'll get brunch together as a family. Monthly movie nights, every other monthly going out family dinners. So whether that's going to Applebee's or B Dubs or wherever. Um, Grandparents for holidays every year, every season. This I love. Every season, our family's gonna pick a charity activity, giving back activity, and we're gonna participate in that as a family, which I love. I like that
Yeah, I
one.
like that one a lot actually, and like so like maybe one summer we would go to the animal shelter and help walk dogs, or we would go in the fall we would go to the homeless shelter or like the food pantry or whatever and like cook Thanksgiving dinner with them or something. Like do something
Mhm.
every season, like do something like
To
to give
give
back to the
back.
community.
So like hanging out in a senior home and playing games with the elderly, like anything, really anything,
How long though?
On a Saturday or a
like a
Sunday,
weekend.
probably like
No, no, not like time wise, like their age wise. How long until they start saying, I don't want to do
until they
this.
move
This
out.
is boring.
Yeah, honestly, either
You guys
they,
are gonna force them to do that?
Yeah. Cuz
because
They're gonna end up hating. Okay, you're like it'd be nice if like they love doing it too. But what if they hate doing that? Like, what if it becomes a dragon? Like, it honestly becomes like, oh, you guys are only just forcing me to do that. Are you
so
guys gonna be the parents that force it?
I'm very okay. I'm in that camp where whenever my parents like go and volunteer and do whatever they need to do, they always force me to go. And I'd be pretty pissed. I'd be like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go on a Saturday, whatever. But on the flip side, when I get there, it flips. Like I'm just like, you know what? These people or these, this charity or whatever needs what I have in excess. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but that's you.
if they have a heart, they'll appreciate it. They'll say thank you at the end.
I can guarantee you, if I was forced to do that, I would have hated every minute of it. Are
You're
you
just a
saying I don't have
petty
a
ass
heart?
kid. No, you're just a petty ass kid.
What you mean petty? Why am I petty? I didn't have shit growing up.
But the thing is, I think growing up, yeah, it makes sense because yeah, like what you said, you may have thought that you didn't have anything either. But the thing is, when it comes to Esther and I, we know that we want to provide more than our family has provided us. So with that,
Y'all them Jesus family. Oh, y'all motherfuckers got Jesus in your lives.
I wouldn't say I don't know. We try.
You guys sound like a very holy Christian-y family.
Not me.
I guess not really.
Well,
I think
just like from what you guys want to do, like Esther wants to adopt and help like the kids in need. JD and Esther both want to charity every season. Jesus, God, See, that's what you guys sound like to me.
I guess I guess it kind of sounds like that.
Maybe it's like a mix of like the social work background and a
Pastor's kid.
yeah.
I just like the idea of it. I like the idea of being able to give back because there are, like we talked about like in a few episodes ago, like there are people out there that are suffering. There are people out there that are in need, and I think if we don't do anything about it, we're just succumbing to the bystander effect. We're like, oh, it's somebody else's problem, but not doing anything about it. I feel like not doing anything about it and knowing that there's a problem there makes you that much worse of a person.
I'm waiting for him to react.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I mean that's like you guys saying like my kids aren't gonna have a heart because I'm not pushing that on them, or you guys are saying like I don't have a heart because I don't go out of my way to do that, even though I know the situation's going on.
I didn't say that. Esther said it.
But yeah,
I
but you
didn't
guys are
say-
like
what?
implying that
you
though.
said like if they have a heart. That's what you said.
Oh, well,
You literally
they'll
just said
enjoy
that.
it. I mean, it's not because that it's not now these ideas that I have are not from my own personal experiences. My life that I lived growing up is nowhere near anything like this. I had none of these actually, and nowhere near it. But it's just something that I enjoy doing. Honestly, it's just something that we both enjoy doing, and we would like to do it with our kids and show it to them and share it with them. And if they don't enjoy it, then I'm sure we'll tackle that as the moments come on. But I mean, being childless and just kind of dreaming of a dream, essentially. Like, this is just a dream that we have. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen. Doesn't mean that our children are going to become anything like us, or are going to enjoy anything that we like, or we make them have them do. I mean,
Esther's not trying to imply that you're a bad person.
no.
This is just like what we want to do as a family. And
Well, I know,
yeah.
but in the future, if you guys do this as a family, and then you see Uncle Andrew over there while you guys are donating to Christian charity stuff, and you just see, hey Andrew, what you doing? Oh, I'm fucking drinking beer. What you guys doing? Oh, I'm spreading the word of God, whatever. I don't know. You're gonna be like,
You know,
oh,
the
You make it sound like we're
Heartburst.
like missionaries
Yeah,
or
we're not-
something.
no,
Like
no.
we're not like that at all.
'Cause-
Like if you go back to episode 8, like there are some resentments that we have against religion and just even our own parents. It's just for us. It's not like we want to like portray the Christian values of the home. It's just something that we like are going to enjoy doing.
For me, I didn't even think about religion, to be honest with you, with any of these.
Actually, yeah, I'd never thought of that either.
I honestly just thought
Oh,
about
I
things.
was
that
gonna
I've
ask you
done.
guys, what do you guys think about religion after this?
I feel like it's a good place to get like basic values and morals as a human being. But if they don't want to go to church, like when they get older, it's not really something that I'm going to force upon, to be completely honest. What I'm thinking and what I'm hoping is like if Esther and I do our jobs as parents correctly and build a supportive community around our children, it has to come from diverse places and it can't just be from us. Like it's like that saying, like it takes a village. And if we
So
don't build,
basically, you're saying like you want your kids to kind of like, well, like it'd be great, if they, the whole holy, if they become that, whatever. But like they go to church to like for the community.
yeah, because that's exactly the reason why I feel like I'm going to church as well, to be completely honest. Like I'm not going it because I feel guilty about, if I didn't go, what would God think? I don't think about that crap. I don't feel that way at all. I just feel like as a person, I need community, and I need that sense of belonging somewhere in a group outside of just belonging in this trio right now that we're recording this podcast with. Like I feel like I need the like different viewpoints and a different pace to like be a more well-rounded human being.
I mean, I guess that's the extrovertedness out of you, because to me that just sounds like, ugh, you don't need that. Like I'm fine with just trio right here and Ashley right over there. Like I don't need more people. Like I guess that's just a difference between how we view life. Because I'm introverted and I don't need that.
Yeah, I
I
get
like
that.
being isolated.
Yeah. And again, this is two very different ways of believing in things, but I feel like as a person, I'm a very well-rounded individual. I can talk to a bunch of different people. I'm a very conversational person, and there aren't a lot of social interactions where I feel awkward or I feel like I'm doing something weird. Does that make sense? Like I'm not that
Does.
person, and I feel like that's because I spent so much time in so many different communities, and I would just want that for my children as well, just to be a well-rounded individual. And if they're introverted, that's fine. Like it doesn't
You
matter
can
to
learn
me,
from me.
or learn from Esther, and like, but being able, like take Jocelyn for example. Like she's a very introverted person, as you guys both know. She's a very introverted person, but there's a part of her, and there is a personality trait of hers where she can extend out and be more extroverted, be the life of the party, and have conversations, because I feel like she's a very, very well-rounded individual as well. She's very different from me, but I think being able to do that and having all these experiences from different people, it helped raise me to be a better person. And I feel like I want to just be able to provide that for my children. Again, we're not saying like the way that you're doing things is going to be wrong. It's just different strokes.
Right. I mean, I feel like I'm the same way with Jocelyn. Like I'm introverted as fuck, but I could be a life at a party. Usually always am.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like if you're just introverted and you just stay home with just your family, you become more introverted and become a little bit more shut off. I feel like, to be honest, as much as you hated churches, as much as you hated going, you still built community and you still built friendships outside of that, and you learned something within that interactions that you had. So I don't want to neglect any kind of learning opportunities that my children can have just because I don't feel comfortable or I don't want to go.
For my kids, it's I'm gonna give them the option for religion. If they want to go to church, I'll take them to church. I have two churches to choose from, yours or my parents. I don't care. Like if they want to go, like I get to go see my family. I get to go see you. Whatever. Like I just like you. I go for the community. I don't go for service. I don't believe in that crap. Yeah, like if my kids want to try religion, I'll happily take them to church and be like, hey, if this is for you, this is for you. But not for me. So I'll never push that on them. Like I'll never even, you know, try to push it on them. Like, hey, do you want to go to church or do you want to try to go to church? Like I'll wait for them to tell or ask me about it,
Yeah, I got you.
and I'm sure they'll ask me soon because or early because my parents would ask about it if they ever visit my parents. They'll be like, "Oh, can we take it to church?" My kids would be like, "What's church?" And stuff like that. But
Interesting. I'm kind of actually more on leaning more towards like Andrew's side. Like I'm honestly not because what I hear JD say when you said all your things, it's just more of experience. It's more of experience and diversifying their communities, their networks, their social skills, interaction skills, and all that stuff. They can get that anywhere. They can get that outside of church as well. And so, but the only thing for me is that if we celebrate Christmas, you're going to learn the history and the meaning behind Christmas and why we celebrate Christmas. If we celebrate Easter, the meaning and the meaning behind Easter, what does that mean and stuff like that. Because if we both believe in Christianity, if we're both identify as like Christians, then we'll teach them about that. We'll teach them where it comes from the Bible and things like that. Now they don't have to go to church every week if they don't want to, but like, yeah. I think it's honestly just understand the holidays that our family celebrates. If it has a religious background or history behind it, I want them to know about it and not just because like, oh, I get presents.
that's what my kids are gonna know.
Not thinking about it, I think we can make like a hybrid model.
Mm-hmm.
Where like when the kids are up to a certain age, like they kind of have to go.
Mm-hmm.
But after like 13, 14, when they're like can actually fend for themselves and be at home alone, I feel like that's when we can start giving the option to be like, hey, do you want to go? And I feel like hopefully by then, if you're going to the same church and you're building that community, the kids will like have friends there, be like, you know what, yeah, I kind of want to see my friends, and we'll go. And yeah,
You sneaky little bastard.
yeah. Because that's kind of what happened with me. Like I didn't want to go into high school, but I built a community and I was a leader within the church. And I was like, I feel obligated to go. And it wasn't just out of obligation because my dad's a pastor and I had to go to his church. It was just out of obligation of like my friends and like leadership and being in that position and kind of holding down, that leadership position. So
You know what that sounds like to me?
what?
Let me fucking bless these fools with my presents. Ah, it's your lucky day today. You can see me.
So, Andrew, I got a question for you. Are there any holidays where you want to spend with your family? Like for sure. And then are there other holidays that like you would, if in this case, if you and Ashley do get married, like would you want to go to Ashley's parents or Ashley's family?
I want to go to all of them to Ashley's because again, my family never celebrated holidays. The most we did was like Christmas. I never got presents. We got what like $10 each, but that's like not really celebrating anything. New Year's we got what $10 each. We didn't really do anything, just like a family dinner. But Halloween. I've never worn a costume in my entire life ever, not once.
Really?
I've gone trick or treating once in my entire life of 25 years. Thanksgiving, you know my backstory. I got food poisoning that one time. I'm a little iffy about it, but I heard Ashley's family throws like a big dinner, and I'm kind of excited for that.
Uh-huh.
4th of July, we went to our cousin Ashley's house. We did fireworks for like a little bit, but we didn't even do it. We just watched their neighbors do it because they always went all out for it. But yeah, like our family never really did a lot of the holiday stuff. Granted, like later on when we got older, the kids, like the cousins, we started doing Secret Santas and like birthday traditions. Like me and Kevin, we have this like unspoken rule, like we each get each other's like $100 gift, whether it's $100 gift card or just $100 to someone else. But we usually minimum we spend $100 on each other, and that's just something me and Kevin's been doing since like I moved to Indiana.
Okay. So on the flip side, is there any like holiday? I guess this goes to both of you. Is there any holiday traditions that you guys want to start, like Christmas or New Year's as a family?
Christmas definitely. Uh, n- New Year's, Ashley saw this thing that she wants to really do with like a family. Is she wants to take a picture every New Year's with like the family, like just like a photo shoot with them, and then just like save it in like a family album. Like, and that's another tradition I want to do. Start a family album. Like my family hardly ever took photos, and like every time I asked my mom, I was like, where's our family photos?" There's maybe like one when we were like babies, but I don't think we ever have. There's one where Paul came back from the military, but it's kind of sad to like think back and like there's not a picture of all four of us together. Me, my mom, my dad, my brother, you know? And and it sucks. But I mean, I want to start like having family photos. Like I want to make memories with our kids. Christmas photos, New Year's goes with the photo. Halloween, I want to take our kids trick or treating because I want the candy.
You want the candy.
I want the candy. Thanksgiving, I don't know if I'll ever get into it. Probably just go into like a relative's house because I don't want to do the cooking and stuff. Like I'll go over with beer and stuff, but like you guys do the cooking or something. um, 4th of July, I do want to buy fireworks for our kids. I do. I've always loved fireworks. I've always loved playing with fire. I'm a pyromaniac.
Well, it's a good thing that we're gonna be neighbors because I don't want to buy fireworks.
Oh, I wouldn't mind. I love fireworks. Like me and Ashley have sparklers right now
Oh, very nice.
because we bought some for Memorial Day, and like we played with some fireworks in our front porch, and we just lit some sparklers up and stuff. But yeah, for holidays, I mean, that's it for the holidays, right?
Yeah, those are the big ones.
Yeah.
Are there any like family traditions that you wanted to do for holidays for your family?
So one of the things that I want to do for just like my immediate family, so like me and you and like the kids, besides like all the obvious ones like Christmas, Thanksgiving, birthdays, New Year's, and all that stuff, is I really want to emphasize and celebrate Valentine's Day and teach them about love. That it's not just for like the people like you have a romantic relationship for, but it's also a time to acknowledge the people around you and to do that. I saw that on someone's like family YouTube channel, and I thought that was really can't think of a better word. I thought it was nice. And it's something that I want to teach my kids, especially with all the choices that you have these days, or we've always had with different sexual orientations. And maybe that could be a day where we teach them about different sexual orientations and identities. Like, it doesn't always have to be like a boy to a girl and a girl to a boy or anything like that. Or again, like it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. Like, hey, mom loves you. Why can't I give you a flower this day or tell you that I love you a little bit more? Just things like that. So Valentine's Day is something that I really want to start doing. I think if it's really sweet just to have a day where you show a little bit of an extra affection.
All right, awesome.
JD's like, all right, awesome.
All right. Well, because I already know, and we've already talked about this. I was like, I kind of like that idea as well.
Mhm.
Oh, you guys sound like it's like such a corny, cheesy family
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
yes. You're welcome. Watch us get kids and none of this goes into play.
Yeah, who knows?
like I like to be realistic.
I mean,
Like,
these all can
yeah,
be realistic. Maybe, I don't know.
I ain't gonna take my kids to charity. Like, if they want to do charity, they can fucking do charity. I have nothing against it, but
They can come with
do
us.
it. Nah.
For me, I guess Thanksgiving is always going to be at my family's house. My family is weird. They don't care about Christmas. We don't care about New Year's. We don't really care about any other holiday except Thanksgiving. And that's the kind of I think it's because for us, like I said before, even in this podcast, it's just like a lot of our conversations and a lot of our fondest memories come from being at the dinner table. And I think that's what my family is most thankful for, is being able to have that privilege and that ability to just meet on like almost a daily basis before, and being able to meet again for like a giant dinner and really focusing on what like our family means to us and how thankful we are. So Thanksgiving was always going to be with my family for me, I hope, in the future. But other than that, like all the other holidays are kind of up in the air and up for grabs. Like there's nothing really much that's holding me to anything else. So
Christmas, we're decorating the house inside and out. Dad's gonna be putting up the lights around the rooftop and like lining
Dad
the
and
house.
Uncle Andrew.
So
Hey, you're gonna be helping my house right after.
Well, that's fine. We can do
Because
it.
I want to go all out for that too, because I've never
Yes.
had that growing up.
Let's do it.
exactly. Yeah, it's Christmas. We'll be decked out. We'll have like the mistletoe inside the house somewhere. We'll decorate the trees in the front lawn.
Hey, y'all ever want an early Christmas? Just come over, because I'm never taking those lights down. It's only gonna get upgraded every year.
Or just gonna
I'm never-
add lights.
I'm just gonna add and add and add.
I've always thought of like keeping the Christmas tree up year round and just decorating it by holiday appropriately.
That's what I want to do.
Oh, I actually kind of like that. That
Yeah.
sounds like fun.
That's something that I've always wanted to do, because something about the Christmas tree, I think it's the lights, honestly. It's just always brought me some sort of hope and like calmness in my head. Like whenever my parents were fighting, we always still had the Christmas tree up, and I would like to sleep outside in front of it, and just something that just made me, I don't know why. It's kind of like your fish
Feel
tank thing.
warm.
Yeah, like a warm feeling. And so I have thought about that in my head, like, oh, if it's Easter, we'll just decorate it with bunnies or hide the Easter eggs inside the tree. Or like Halloween, like you can easily decorate it with like
With
candy.
pumpkins.
Yeah, like pumpkin lights. I don't know, maybe that could be some weird thing that our family gets to do. It's like have the Christmas tree around and decorate it by monthly seasons or something.
Yeah, I like that. I actually like that idea a lot.
We start by tomorrow.
I'm not sure about the Christmas lights year round, only because of the electrical costs.
Oh, I'm not gonna leave it on. I'm just gonna leave it up. Oh my god, that would be terrible.
Yeah, and
Fucking-
you could like turn it on for like birthdays and like random holidays.
Yeah.
I was very against doing that, putting up lights on the outside, because I didn't want to do it by myself. And I love you, Esther, but you're not very much help when it comes to stuff like that. So having
Ashley's not much help. when it
yeah,
comes to
so
anything like
having
that.
Uncle Andrew come over and helping us out would be fantastic.
You know what? Back in the day, I did all that shit by myself. I didn't need you.
Okay, then you can do it by yourself. Andrew and I will be sitting outside drinking eggnog and beer.
All right, Ashley and I
watching
got this.
you do it.
Yes,
Ashley,
Don't
no.
even expect help from Ashley. She can't do it.
watching the kids. We'll be watching the kids.
Hey, what's that? Don't make me come up there. Like you listen to the kids.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of plans that we have. Esther and I specifically have a lot of plans for our family. And
You would have gotten more in-depth answers from me if Ashley was here, because she has a lot of plans, but she's still too shy to talk. on a
eventually,
podcast.
we'll get here. We'll get there eventually. We'll have a part 2.
We'll have a part 2.
We'll have a part 2.
Of
family.
everything.
And hopefully we're all in person too, and then we could not do it
Aw.
over video chat.
Be cute.
Maybe if you guys can come when we move.
When you
Yeah,
guys are
bring
moving?
August 11th. So we couldn't get it early over the weekend.
That's move-in season.
Yeah.
We're not.
Oh, that's a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday.
I don't know if
That's not happening.
I'll make my sure. I'll try to look at my calendar.
The difference between love. My best friend is saying he'll try his hardest, and this fiance over there, no, it's not happening. No, no. Not even a second thought. No, it's not happening.
I'm just being realistic with you, Andrew. It's not gonna happen.
I like JD's hopefulness.
I'll try to see if there's anything that I can do.
Push all your work on Esther. You come.
Yeah, I mean, it depends if they're. Yeah, it's just there's a thing. Yeah, it just depends. It
Anyway,
depends.
But honestly, though, I would rather have Esther come because I'd rather have the organization of her and Ashley going at it while I'm just bringing the heavy stuff inside.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what happened when you guys came over and helped us move.
I did nothing but just, I'm strong.
Okay. Oh, but anyway, real quick before we move on to the next topic.
next topic. I was gonna end.
Or whatever. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then before we end it, one thing that I see my boss doing, that I would think is really nice to do, is so my boss is a father. He's a dad, and he has a daughter. And what he's done ever since she's been born, he takes the week before the daughter's birthday off, and then the day of the kid's birthday off. So that week before, what they do is like he'll schedule like a week of activities to do with his daughter. Like he'll spend all day with her. Like an example was the other day they did like a fancy day. And so it started off with fancy breakfast and fancy lunch with like sandwiches with little toothpicks on them and like a fancy walk. Basically just spending a week with dad and getting his undivided attention and love essentially. And then I'm assuming on the day of the kid's birthday, maybe both of the parents take off and kind of celebrate the child's birth essentially for her birthday, which I thought was very it just shows a lot of love. Like it shows that the parent loves their child more.
Then work.
Yeah. Like they prioritize their family before their jobs.
I think that's really
Yeah, and I
nice.
thought that was real. I looked up to that a lot, and so that's something that I'm not saying that we'll do, but something that I just really looked upon because he's doing it right now. Like he's off this week because he's spending days with his daughter, and then the kid's birthday is like next Tuesday, so he has next Tuesday off. So
Yeah, I would love to do that, but in retrospect, like if we have 4 kids, we're taking 4 weeks off every year. Like that's a lot of time off.
I mean, if the job is allowed, like if that's allowed, or like if we have the pay for it, like the salary and all that kinds of stuff, I don't see why not.
Yeah, I think that would be a really cool thing to do, but I mean, again, it's like wishful thinking at this
Yeah.
point. We just don't know.
Based on circumstances and
Yeah, because we don't know what kind of job we're gonna have in Colorado.
yeah, or just in the future in general.
We're gonna have our own damn business.
Hopefully,
We're gonna
that's
be
the plan.
closed for an entire week.
For
Good luck.
for 8 weeks out of the year, if we have, or 7 weeks out of the year, if we each have one kid, one birthday week.
And we all have. If we do live by each other, you know, like that dream whole thing come true. I want our families to go on family vacations together.
Yes, please.
Like I want my kids to be close to your kids.
I agree. That'd be a lot of fun.
And like if you have 3 boys, they're not allowed to touch my girls, but they can protect the shit out of all my kids.
Man, it was really. I don't know. I'm pretty excited to think about like what our future holds because I'm hoping that we can get Ashley on board with the moving to Colorado thing.
She's slowly starting to inch
Slowly.
her way.
I mean, Colorado has more days of sunshine than Florida.
Hey, I already convinced her to get Florida out of her mind because Florida's just a bunch of fucking idiots.
Florida is the nation's asshole. Like it's just a swampy, nasty place to live.
Oh, fucking Florida, man.
It's the retirement state. You guys haven't heard of that?
Even
Like-
retirement, I don't want to retire to
That's
Florida.
where all the white retired people go.
I don't want to go to Florida. No, thank you. It's too hot.
That's
Like,
exactly
it's
why
not
they
even
go.
hot. It's humid hot.
That's why they go.
I would rather pick
Ah.
Arizona. It's a dry heat.
We can go there. I don't care.
But I'm really excited about the future.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what my kids turn out like.
I'm terrified.
I'm
not,
excited.
I'm
excited.
terrified.
It's like little me's and Ashley's running around in the world.
That's exactly why I want to adopt.
I think this will be like a great thing to look back on in a few years and be like, you know, how far have we come? And even when we do start having a family, if we're still doing, hopefully when we're still doing this podcast, be like, hey, do you remember?
This and that came true.
Yeah.
And
In 2020, we did this weird podcast episode and yeah.
Or just laugh about all the things that we did say today.
Yeah. Be like,
Do you remember that stupid ass selves that we thought that this was gonna happen, but none of that happened.
What Esther's gonna say? Like, do you remember when I said that I was never gonna lay my hands on my kids? Well, that was fucking wrong.
I beat them more than JD did. Remember when we told the podcast we're gonna take the charity? Fuck it.
I mean, you never know, and I don't know. I'm excited, and I'm hoping that like I said before, like if this is, you know how like they say if you want something to become true or you want to like finalize something, you put it down in writing. I'm hoping like this podcast is like our putting down in writing, saying like this is what we want, and this is like it's a not like a promise, but it's like that gateway of saying like this is what I want, and just like announcing it to the world and getting it out there. And I don't know. I think Andrew and I and Esther, we all want to be in the same place and go to Colorado and have the options to go snowboarding and do everything that we want to do, and hiking and bouldering and whatever. I'm really excited, you guys. Really excited. Well, with all that being said, I know that there may have been some conflicting issues and viewpoints here, specifically when we're talking about disciplining our children. If you have anything to say about that and you want to get in contact with Andrew or I, Andrew, where can they complain to us?
Well, you guys can always reach us in the email of upuntilnowpodcast@gmail.com, and you guys can always reach us and find us in Instagram with the same handle, upuntilnowpodcast, and feel free to follow mine, JD, or Esther's. Esther has a bunch of accounts. She uploads daily, but feel free to follow our accounts to get a little daily dose of each and one of us. And yeah,
and one final thank you goes to our friend Eric. He is the one that has been creating this music for us, and I think recently he told me that he was working on another track, so we're excited to see track number 4 come out and seeing that as our intro and outro. So thank you again, Eric, for letting us use your music. And if you guys want to listen and use his music as well, he can be found on SoundCloud and Instagram at ch.tunes. Again, that's ch.tunes. If you do choose to use his music, please give him a shout out, because he's a great guy and he's just doing this for fun, and it's just a passion that he has. All of the links that we say is all available in our Up Until Now podcast link tree, and that's available on our bio on our Instagram page. And that includes Eric's SoundCloud account, Eric's Instagram, and a bunch of other cards. And there is one that I want to highlight, and there's actually 2 that I want to highlight. One of them is the Black Lives Matter card that we have. Feel free to go there if you want any other information about the Black Lives Matter movement. Andrew, Esther, and I, we are very, very adamant about we are on the side of Black Lives Matter. So please do some research and learn into what the movement means, and please support the movement. There's also another card that I'm going to be putting up there. It's called the Unfinished Petitions card. It was a card that one of my friends has recently shared on her Instagram story. It's all the petitions that have not yet reached their mark for the amount of signatures that they need. So please go on there and sign the petitions that are there. It'll be very helpful when we're trying to get justice for the people that need justice. So we thank you again for taking a listen to this podcast. And is there any last words, Esther, that you would like for our listeners to do?
Please like, comment, and subscribe where it's appropriate.
Great. Thank you. You heard it from her. She is very confused about what to say, but
very forced.
Yep. Just to reiterate, please like, comment, and subscribe where you can. I know that you can comment and you can rate us on Apple Podcasts, so please do that. If you guys do that, it does get our names and our podcast out there to more people that would want to listen. So please do that. And yeah, if you guys liked what you heard, keep listening, because we're going to continue podcasting for the foreseeable future. So thank you again, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
Are we done?
You're not going to say bye?
Oh, bye.
All right, that's it. I'm just going to cut that part out.
Yeah, you can.